talk a lot about Rob Liefeld on this channel, and that's because we love him, and stick with me, aka Patters, we're also critical. Today's a positive video. Let me go in order here. This is somewhat of the order of release of these books. We got New Mutants, we go all the way to Youngblood number 8. Marvel era, early Image era, and then the Return era. 3 different art styles and art evolution. Now, previously, we discussed the transition and the best of his Return era, where we get things like this, right? I mean, guys, this is a comic book boner. We discussed the nuance of his Marvel comic book days, New Mutants and X-Force. But we get into him breaking away, going fully independent. We get something special. Youngblood 2, which is far superior to Youngblood number 1. But Youngblood 3 is truly special. And we have to go. So play that intro. And we got more and more and more Rob Liefeld. There's just a couple things to say. I try and set these up and establish the observations as clear as possible. Here's the wild thing, AK Powders. I own multiple number 3. Like, I buy Youngblood 3 a lot. I buy whenever I find it, if it's ever in a dollar box or, even $2 to $3. I'll spend for Youngblood 3. I have Youngblood 2, famous now, and this was a hot book when people, I think, they were convinced that Ryan Gosling or Jake Gyllenhaal was going to portray Prophet for Netflix. And people tried to grease these gears. It didn't quite work. But when it comes to Youngblood number 1, I only have the green ash cane. And Youngblood famously is a flip book. I just want to point this out. Rob Liefeld is the one that went from drawing X-Force, and he said, I just want to publish my own book. At the time, it seemed like, he had a studio system in place. Jim Valentino, a little bit of Eric Larson, and some other guys floating around. Even one of the guys at this time, too, was guys like Danny Mickey, Brian Murphy, colorists. Talented individuals that maybe Rob Liefeld art directed. We say this, that's the scale that goes between like truth and lie, and there's a big gray area, because a lot of the people that Rob Liefeld brought on within the studio system, they had successful creative careers. And I don't think it's because Rob Liefeld trained. Like, I don't think Rob Liefeld established his talent. I think he had a good eye to pick up talent. And with a little bit of his money, these guys were able to jumpstart careers. Because, again, Rob Liefeld had a hell of a windfall from X-Force issue 1, New Mutants issue 100. So it's like 100 to 1. Like, lots of money. But here, like, we see his ash cane, and I always point out the lettering. And this is Rob Liefeld, like, inking himself. He's a freaking weapon. I mean, like, just his energy, his poses. And we see what he just wanted to get out the door. Like I say, he wanted to get out the door so bad. He let a lot of the lettering slide. It's just not good. I believe, like, clearly the story, too. The story is nowhere in Youngblood 1, but he tries. But he's like, let's make something of this. So from Youngblood 1, they jump into Youngblood 2, and lo and behold, it's Rob Liefeld. So we get more ideas. We get the Berserkers, previously the Executioners. We get Kirby over here. We got Blackthorn. Next page, Prophet. I mean, and we're like just a couple pages into Youngblood 2, and we've already seen like 7 new characters, okay? It's insane. But big fight scene, we get combat fighting Prophet, like, Prophet's got to be angry. no one no one in science fiction comes out of a tube. No one in science fiction comes out of a tube happy. You come out of a tube and you're ready to fight. But yeah, big fight scene. And then look, guys, flip side, Rob, you give Rob Liefeld credit because there's publishing consistency here. And Peter A. DeLuca and the AKAPAD army like that. But we get the first appearance of Shadowhawk. And why is it in here? Because Jim Valentino is Rob Liefeld's studio mate. Todd McFarlane didn't want Valentino anywhere near Image. Rob Liefeld said he's got to be in there. And it's kind of funny because Rob Liefeld, in my view, is the one that got Eric Larson and Jim Valentino. And Todd McFarlane's the one that got Jim Lee. And then Jim Lee brings on Wells Portacio, Mark Silvestri. So it's like between Liefeld and McFarlane, we can argue who recruited the better. You kind of want to say McFarlane wins that argument. But during this time, we get issue 3. Now, before we crack open issue 3, because issue 3, for over 2 years, was the best Rob Liefeld we had gotten. And this, by the way, guys, is a homage to Jim Lee's X-Men issue, the first appearance of Omega Red. That might have been X-Men number 4. Kind of funny, people don't realize that's a homage. So let's just go through a couple years. 1992, okay? New Mutants wraps up, and this should be right here. 1991. So Rob Liefeld, within like a year, like this is high production. This is what gives you a Woodrow Wilson. He establishes New Mutants as like the X-Men title. That flows right into X-Force. And X-Force kind of, let me just maybe show you guys a little bit of what X-Force looks like. We need to do a little bit of a chart. I'm going to do the best I can. We're working quickly. Get yourself a pencil. So so we have like X-Force 1. And we just kind of want to say like issue 7 and 8. And the Liefeldness kind of goes like this, where it peaks, and then the studio system picks up and helps out Rob Liefeld. But that's okay, because around this time, right, we get Youngblood, issue 1. And, like here, though, it's this. It's like an office building. Like, he's got a company to scale up, and there's a lot of things to figure out. I think he does a good job. I know a lot of you don't. So around this time, we go into his return. All right, 92 here. Rob Liefeld's return is 1994. Okay, 92, 94. Now, we're leaving the Youngblood 4 discussion to a different time. Okay, but it's roughly, right, a little bit late, but, not exactly on time either. This is June 92. September 92. No, June 94, December 94. June, December. Well, we get 4 issues, a little bit timely. Youngblood 6, September 94. So we can see within 2 years, Rob Liefeld returns. He roars back with a new style, but he's late. And he's late after having a 2-year pause. Now, at the time, Extreme Studios was one of the highest selling comic book universes out there. I mean, they were outselling still Ultraverse and things like that. Let's just fast forward to 1997 real quick, right? This is 1996. X-Force Youngblood. This is the dream project. I mean, guys, like in the comic shop, even back then, you would say to yourself, like, when are these guys like crossing over? And it happened within the modern day at the time. Like head spinning stuff. But Rob Liefeld is so inconsistent. And something does happen, guys. I don't think he's done a great job in being eloquent at all in explaining it. I think he glosses it over. I think he retcons and reconstructs history with his podcast. Because if we go through this, I mean, he's editor. So he's editor interfacing with Bob Harris for his company's biggest crossover. And his artwork, his name, is nowhere to be found in the pages. And this is a studio effort. And the wild thing is that it's not much of a studio effort. It's just inconsistent. It's frustrating. We can equally say that Marvel and X-Force is frustrating because they go from the X-Force that we love, these guys here, like these guys. Look at this transition shot. This is why you guys love the channel. Okay? We go from the bagged X-Force into purple and yellow X-Force. Or as I like to call the Adam Polina phase of X-Force. That's an upcoming video too, by the way. We're doing a deep dive on Adam. But we're still amongst the, like within the era that we can draw anything and make it cool, make it sell. And we every time pen hits blank paper, it's a home run. And we got Stephen Platt here. And we give Stephen Platt a ton of credit because he's not doing all the Stephen Platt stuff. This is a very deadline-driven Stephen Platt. But he needs a lot of help. And we go into the credits. I mean, we got Dane Fraga here. We have, I mean, he's, again, like a laundry list. Dane Fraga, Richard Horay, Ching Lu, Michael Lynching, Mark Pajero, who was here, early studio days, and Andy Park, who later took over the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is like a full, this is like a full court press. And Liefeld's nowhere to be found. So when we look back to the 90s Rob Liefeld, it really is like his return era and his best issue of Youngblood. And that's a little bit what I want to flip through. And I know it's a little, it's an intro. I love these insert cards in here. It kind of makes me like, dare I say, I wish a lot of people did this today. I just like them. I think they make there's a textile function to the book. When you grab the book, you feel it. But these are amazingly well drawn. And here's the wild thing. No one refers to Youngblood 3 as also the first appearance of Supreme, who later became... See, Liefeld also competed head-to-head with all of comics. With Supreme, he had a better monthly Superman read than DC Superman. With one of Supreme's allies, because there were a team at the time, there was a character called Glory. And Glory was a better Wonder Woman book than Wonder Woman. So Liefeld was competing with the big two, like head-to-head. We have the amazing Rock Devote Bad Rock here. I always like that drawing. And look, see that Photoshop? We call that noise. That's a noise filter. And it just perfectly fits the character. I even like how this like square design here is like blurred. I don't know why. It's very 90s to me. But jam-packed issue. First appearance of Supreme, later to be written by Alan Moore. Wins all the awards, becomes one of the best books of its day. And here we go. And welcome aboard newcomer Danny Mickey. We have Danny Mickey's signature right here. So Mickey was with Rob Liefeld since '92. A lot of people think Mickey came on board with the reconstruction Rob Liefeld, the return Rob Liefeld. A lot of people think this is where they first collaborated, but no, he was a studio guy too. These studios run a lot deeper, that's what she said, than a lot of, dare I say it, comic book historians give it credit for. Mickey, Rob Liefeld is somewhat, and maybe we'll do a video on this, he's made very odd comments recently about Danny K. Mickey, and Rob Liefeld's acting like he taught him how to do everything. When we look at this just from an inker's position, Danny does not need Rob Liefeld's help. And maybe, like I said, that's a future video. But here we get like the opening splash page. After getting a sweet make-your-own trading card, we get one of the all-time images of Prophet. Even when Prophet goes monthly, even when Stephen Platt, excuse me, takes over the title, Prophet doesn't look as good as he does here, because we know he just got beat up by Youngblood. I always enjoyed the Rob Liefeld blood of this era. I don't know why. It's just weird to me. It's like kind of like spindly. It just looks extra thick. But this is what like you wanted as a kid. Like when you were a teenager and you read Image Comics, you wanted a little bit better computer coloring, because this just looked amazing. You wanted better printing to get that sweet cross-hatching. See that sweet cross-hatching right on his D-I-C-K here? And you wanted characters that were not afraid to fight, that were violent in a particular way. And this is that we have Prophet now defending everything that is good. He's fighting droids. Later in Prophet number 1, he continues to fight these droids. But we see Prophet clears out the room, decimates 2 teams of superheroes. He decimates the Berserkers, Youngblood, and now he's going through all of the leftover robots that are there to protect everyone else from the superheroes, by the way. It's insane. So, and then we cut to respectfully dedicated to the memory of Joe Shuster. So he had recently passed. The Image era kicks off with the death of Shuster, the death of Bob Kane, and the death of Jack Kirby. It truly is the straight up end of an era. These guys are inheritors of the throne, but they do honor comic book history. I wish Rob Liefeld honored comic book history as much here as he does now with that podcast. But again, classic iconic image of Shaft Badrock, the little PR guy trying to run the appointments. But we're already like 3 pages in, and we get, it's like classic Prophet. Oh, sorry, 5 pages in. But it's like classic Prophet. Again, like iconic Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X level on a pile of your enemies. And then we get a little bit, and this is where we see Brian Murphy here, because Brian Murphy's the guy that like he does these like purple shadows, and he brings in like a better shade of skin tone, and he would get better per book. But Brian Murphy now is also one of the guys visually behind all the Supreme stuff. So like these guys were pulling like multiple books or pulling multiple duties. This now Rob Liefeld doesn't pull back the camera at all. It's hard to know that strong arm here, that's this cat on the left side of the split face. He's in a containment cell, angry, and we know the role if he breaks out of that containment cell. But I always enjoyed this silhouette because I feel like it sells. It's a weird silhouette, but it sells the scene, which is like he's in a glass cage and these guys are walking by. It is maybe Rob Liefeld's very best silhouette. But then we get right here, we get another Snake Eyes analog character, or dare I say, Boba Fett analog character. But this one talks definitely undercover. And then we jump, guys. Like, this is wild. All of a sudden, We go from Prophet from the future destroying today's superheroes, Youngblood's worst enemy being caged up, Shaft not knowing of any of this, and now an intergalactic war about to break out because we're hovering above Earth. And we have like these like Klingon birds of prey here. Like, but still like nicely drawn, nice looking Earth, nice airbrushed Earth there by Brian Murphy. We have 2 establishing shots of our alien species. We follow all of this, and Rob Liefeld yet again only gives us like a one establishing shot. Like, we don't see what their like deck. That's what she said. We don't see what like actually where they are and where they're standing. But he does these like, look at these like psychedelic, like stained glass looking panels in the background. And just look at the color selection. We have blue, orange, green. Like, it's like one of each color. But yeah, guys, and these are not sophisticated designs. We can see that Brian Murphy here helped out Rob Liefeld by finishing, giving this girl, look, see, this is Brian Murphy's work. He just airbrushes on her bodysuit and whatever, right? Like, that's comics, moving on. And then, look, establishing shot. We end this scene. But then, again, the Rob Liefeld's establishing shot for this page is a close-up of Shaft with what we clearly know as microphones. And we really don't focus on what's on the left, which we see him at the podium. And the reason for this is because Rob Liefeld knows how he's tagging the characters, and he knows how we're tagging the characters. See, we've seen Youngblood with media, with microphones in issues 1 and 2. So, like, it's almost like subliminal and subconscious, and it's right there. And here we go, guys. Rob Liefeld drawing Clark Kent and Lois Lane, but then this is also maybe not Lois Lane. I don't think so, right? Because this is the Image comic. I guess it's not Lois Lane. This is the Image comic news reporter that's featured everywhere. Is she in Spawn 1? I still have Spawn 1 lying around. Do we have it here in Spawny number 1? Yeah. So maybe like this is the same girl, right? Maybe. I don't know. They were trying back then. But yeah, and we get like just a very fast drawing economical shots. And Rob Liefeld does like the same, you know, like he pulls back, he does his bird's eye view. He does this like walking step. Like, right? Like they're all kind of in the same motion. Now, some of this could be also subconscious from Liefeld, where he's moving very quick when he's going through the pages or laying them out in a way where he's happy. And then some of the other studio guys come on and they, again, you know, like Danny Mickey controlling the hair here. I don't think this is Rob Liefeld hair, by the way. But there is a disconnection with some of the faces and some of the other inking effects. And there's, again, that's why we have an inker, but we know Liefeld and a lot of the Image guys at the end, they preferred to ink their own faces and hair. So we get a lot of this stuff. And then here we go. Snake Eyes Boba Fett girl kills a guy. Gotta kill him. Kills 2 other dudes, right? Like, so, I don't know. There's 2 dead bodies here. She picks one up by the tie, which isn't good if you need like some last bit of info out of them. Shaft sees this, and then here we go. Everyone busts through some glass, posterized. This is one of Rob Liefeld's very best shots of Shaft, by the way. Decent Chapel, but you know, we want to get to Rob Liefeld's return when Chapel blows off his head in front of Spawn. Speaking of Spawn again, and his bad rock here, so and so, but this Shaft, dead on. I don't care if he's referencing this or not. This is the Rob Liefeld we want, we love. Dare I say, we need him to return. Shaft flips, shoots off a bunch of arrows, and we like, what a effective spread page, because like you feel the motion between 4 pages here, two splash pages or spread pages, and it's okay. It works. Brian Murphy, I give him a lot of credit for these shadows. Again, he was really good, really known for that. But look, I love the Trapper Keeper background here. Hot stuff. Boba Fett, Snake Eyes Girl, catches the arrows. We have some great gradation here from Brian Murphy, where he literally again gives us every single color in the spectrum, and we get some nice sweet shadows. But Shaft here, like, he's ready to unload right on her, and then at the 0 second, ninjas, ninjas. Rob Liefeld has used this trope a million times, but we get more, and I believe this is a reference pose. This is a reference pose, right? Like, this is, I think these 1, 2, 3, 4 panels were reference panels, but it doesn't matter. I believe they're Frank Miller. I could be wrong. But the idea here is that Liefeld makes it his own. He makes it his own by over-the-top blood, over-the-top anger, super power pose. He sells this. Now, this is what people would nitpick on at the day. I never understood it. See, we see that Shaft here is like maybe the same size as the ninja, but here when he's standing over the ninja looks like a giant sack of potatoes, but just looks overly big for a person. And some of this could be their production methods. They're light boxing, they're shrinking things down, the clock is ticking. Badrock, destroying ninjas, going through nothing but ninjas, smacking ninjas, getting angry. The ninjas try and rip off a couple of arrows. They're snapping on Badrock's chest. We want to establish Badrock as much as possible because he's the fun character. And then we get, I don't know, a future franchise leader. Really, Chapel is clearly the most successful character out of Youngblood. He's blasting away. Blasts this dude's like right through his gut. And he's pissed about it. I mean, I guess I'll be pissed too, because that is, that's a cleanup. Like, someone's going to have to clean that up. Now, and we get some Howard Chaykin American flag lettering here. Maybe we'll do American flag on this channel. I just know it will get no views. Howard Chaykin completely revolutionized how we handle comic book lettering. The Image guys were part of that school. But again, too, like, 2 good power poses. Rob Liefeld, good with shadowing everything underneath the brow. We have one more dead mother effer. And we're only at page 22 and we're still going. And guess what? This is what Rob Liefeld does so well in this era. Out of nowhere, we get another room full of villains. It's just a room full of villains. Gage gets clipped here, but look how great of a character design Gage is. I always like the red, green, and brown, and like the red face. Like, really cool stuff. This pose, fantastic. But they teleport out. Die Hard's there. Next issue, don't miss it. So we get a completely full issue. Like, multiple sideways spread, 1 vertical, 2 horizontal spreads. But then we get Coming Soon Bloodstrike by drawn by Rob Liefeld, Danny Mickey. So, like, the era of Dane Fraga is coming. Dane Fraga finally gets his, like, big break in comics. And we're excited and pumped up for this. Like, we're buying this when this hits comic book shelves. He sets up Supreme, sells us Bloodstrike, and then, just gives us a nonstop fight. But he is plot building. But Rob Liefeld, writer, he's just not there. He needs a plotter. And we know this because even if we go to New Mutants #1, like Fabian Akisi, like writing the script, Rob Liefeld on plot. But if we flip through New Mutants #100 here, there's just more characters, right? Like, we have pages like this where it slows down and things are explained. Like, it's that push and pull. Right? Like, again, like another slow down moment here. Explaining things, letting us know more, slow down here. So a lot of, like, the Rob, like, look, 2 pages of setting things up. A lot of the rhythm that Rob Liefeld developed in New Mutants flowed into Youngblood perfectly. But there was, like, a whole Marvel universe and line of X-Men books to connect New Mutants like 100 to and through. It was, and these things, it's like it's all like circuitry, and this is one of like the conduits of the circuit, right? When we're starting things fresh and we bring in like the flavor of what is like continuity heavy at the time, we have a break, and we see that break in Youngblood 4. So that's a little bit of a preview of how even Rob Liefeld cannot do 4 issues of Youngblood, while his contemporaries, Jim Lee, Valentino, Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane, they go through their 4 issues with way more success.